Hello, I'm Scott Hayden for EdTech UK, and this is the second documentary looking into different styles, methods and techniques currently being used in the UK in educational technology.
Gamification is trying to give rewards to learning, to build on the good practice we've learnt in psychology, that if you reinforce a behaviour, it's more likely to happen again. So trying to make learning fun and in the same model as gaming. So many young people now are gaming, and so many games have collecting badges, points, medallions, medals for achievement. So it's building on that concept, and in layman's terms, it's about getting intermittent reinforcement, however that takes its form, in order to encourage a continuation of learning.
In this documentary we spoke to the Deputy Principal of Sparsholt College, Martini Simmons, and his Head of ICT and Digital Learning, Ursula Bailey, about different techniques of using gamification in their teaching and learning.
Within the technology sphere, we get these words and often the meaning of them is different depending on who you actually ask. And I think gamification is one of these words that we hear a lot of, but actually what does it mean?
What the internet and digital technologies have done for us is that they've brought opportunities to bring learning to life and put the learner in charge of their learning.
So how do we recognise if a student has actually completed a certain unit? And I thought, right, this is our ideal opportunity to use badges whole scale across both campuses with all our new intake of students. So we branded the IT induction up under SMART, S-M-A-R-T, and the strapline was to be digitally smart. And the badges were each of those S, M, A, R and T. Those badges then represented courses, some of them 20 minutes in duration, some of them 10 minutes. So for example, T is finding your timetable. And obviously, you know, it's not a 10-minute online course to actually find out where one finds their timetable from online. There are other things in there as well. So the students' expectation was that they got their 5 badges by the end of the induction period, which is roughly about October half term.
It's not a panacea. It doesn't mean to say that every learner immediately becomes an independent learner and everyone becomes motivated and wanting to do it. What it does mean is what I call the Martini Approach: any place, any time, the place where the student feels like doing it, and if they feel like doing it, they'll do it. If they don't feel like doing it, they won't do it.
Do you know, I think really it is a bit of both carrot and stick. I think, you know, the carrot is you do front load it, there's no way around it. I think working with any online material, it is a lot of effort up front, but I think it's that long tail of technology. It's then next year, of course we always evaluate the object that's there. Is it current, is it valid?
People who might have grown up thinking, I'm not a creative type of person, actually, with some of the apps and some of the ease with which they can be manipulated on screen, that even people who are quite scientific or conservative in their outlook can do quite creative things. And I think that's really beneficial, because again, you go back to the analog days where you either knew how to draw or you didn't know how to draw. But now you can flood things with colour, you can frame things, you can shape things, you can take extracts of things, you can copy and paste, you can add a funny nose on things. Anyone can do that. Whereas before, you know, creative pursuits were very much for the creative. Whereas I think creativity is something that the digital world is giving people, many more people, access to.
So I think by giving a real tangible reward for working so hard online, so the badges go like a lot of the way towards that, but I think actually to get a real tangible, it could be a recognition or it could be a real live prize or even the opportunity of a prize through a draw is a major motivator, because we still live in the real world.
I think it's about being expedient, it's about what works. So I can sit people in lines and I can talk to them, but all the research shows they only remember that for about 12 minutes. So I've got to find other ways to work with a generation that frankly is into instant gratification. Digital learning in many ways has some quite nightmarish qualities to it, in that students learn about quick fixes, they learn about copying and pasting, they learn about, if they don't know it, then they look it up on Google. But we as educators have to help them know the difference between knowledge and information.
I think with online learning, there has to be some sort of recognition when that learner is sitting in their bedroom with their laptop on their chest at 11:30 at night, because they've been to college, they've done their part-time job at Tesco's, they're now home, they've got an assignment to do, and they're just reading up on some background data that you have supplied to them. I think the computer saying to them, well done, you've worked your way through this particular activity and you've come to the end of it, and some sort of recognition is a huge motivator. Sometimes we know the subject is a bit dry, so you need to keep motivating them through that, and by using badges is a brilliant way to let them work through it in their own pace, but to recognise their achievement in that lovely, timely manner. Increasingly we're being asked to take on larger workloads, maybe slightly work outside our comfort zone at delivering different units, thinking of different approaches. Syllabuses are always being rewritten, and I think having the technology there to be able to host and support materials on is completely invaluable.
But I've seen badges work, and I've seen them with our digital induction, so where students have to cover the main points of induction and they get a badge for doing so. I've seen one area of level 3 motor mechanics where every single person in the class got every single badge, and I think it's really interesting. Well, why the level 3 motor mechanics? And it's because of the tutor. So the tutor could see the benefit, the tutor could see that actually young people are quite competitive, and they do like to gather together their rewards, and they do like to show what they've achieved. And therefore, using the badges on that level, quite a primitive level of human behaviour, but it works. It motivated that group to compete with each other and to finish their achievements.
Thank you very much to Martin and Ursula for letting us visit Sparsholt College and explore different really effective techniques of gamification within the classroom. If you'd like us to come and visit you in your institution to share your great practice in a documentary, please do not hesitate to get in touch with us on Twitter. We'll be back very soon in the 3rd documentary for EdTech UK, so we will see you then.